I'm Nels Jensen. I'm editor of the Business Press, and I've just returned from the Inland Empire Economic Partnership annual forecast event where Dr. John Husing gave his forecast. He basically went over how our local economy is a mess. We rank extremely low in education per capita. Our economic base in terms of jobs is 50th out of 50 states. And we really, in terms of recovery, we don't have a cohesive strategy in terms of our region and Southern California. He talked about priorities in terms of education. We really don't have a clear commitment on the part of our communities about how to improve our education system. He said we do a lot of talk, we don't have a lot of action.
Talk about it, we haven't organized ourselves to do it. Then we have the problem of state control of the funding. So the local boards really don't control their budgets. We have the state education code, which quite frankly is about that high, and if we could get some dynamite and blow it up, we could probably make some progress. You've got within the campuses, and I'm a former college professor and I remember this vividly, you have campus bureaucracy and diffused power where there's really no one completely in charge that can move in a hurry. We have parents who basically say to the teachers, it's your job. No, it's not. It's ultimately parental. And you've got to go after that. We have a need to make sure we have articulation between the various levels of education. We have students who today are wanting to see a close relationship between what they're doing in the classroom and what's going on in the real world. And we've been starting to work on getting that covered. It's one of the things for those of you who are business leaders where we need your help, not just your funding, but to be involved in the process.
Second part of that is jobs. He spent a lot of time talking about how we really need to emphasize blue-collar jobs because that's what our community supports in terms of a workforce. Talked about high-end jobs, what we need to do to get more of those in, including supporting the UCR Med School.
Priority number 2. Oftentimes we hear when you get into these kinds of conferences, business friendly. Forget those terms. This is about one thing. Business friendly happens to help get you there, but it's about jobs. How do we create jobs for this region, for our population who lives here? Right now we have a 13.9% unemployment rate in March of 2011. There are 50 areas of the United States with 1 million or more people. We rank 50th. I don't know about you, that's not a list I would like to see this area on.
And he also talked about local control, spent a lot of time talking about how we really aren't effective and how we lobby and how we go about trying to hold our government leaders accountable.
We need a coordinated business strategy to deal with these issues that involve business, local government, and labor. Just stop and think for a minute. If you're a construction worker that could be working on a hospital job, what the effect of not having those approvals is on your business. We also have allies. This has been discussed all over Southern California. I've been in the meetings. SCAG has talked about it. The Orange County Business Council, top priority. LA Economic Development Corporation, same thing. Southern California leadership. We need to be working with them to start to change these dynamics. We have, as you heard from Paul, the Inland Empire Business Council. Dan Rendler was the chairman of the board, currently heading that up. What's the agenda? Well, a piece of the agenda, as Paul said, is a related group, a political action committee, and it's very interesting. In one of his conversations with one of our members of Congress, before he even said hello, the first thing he said is, what's this I hear about a political action committee? That's exactly the reaction you want.
Also, community foundation support there. The per capita giving for nonprofits in San Bernardino is $3 versus $27 for the region, and well below the state average, which is over $100. If we in this region had the average per capita to foundations as the rest of California would have, we'd have $380 million more dollars available to address quality of life issues. And one other nugget he made a good point on in terms of the UC system. The way technology is developed in the UC system, which of course we pay for as taxpayers, the UC system is allowed to sell those technology developments to companies elsewhere. So in essence, he points out, we pay for the development of these innovations, and then it's sold to companies to basically develop business models elsewhere. We have the whole tape for you to view here on pe.com and thebizpress.com. Again, I'm Nels Jensen, Business Press.